Okay, so get this. We're doing a deep dive today on something pretty wild that happened on the ISS.
Oh, yeah.
So these two astronauts, Frank Rubio and Sergei Prokopyev, they were up there for like way longer than planned.
Hmm.
9 months.
Wow.
Yeah, no kidding. 9 whole months stuck on the ISS instead of the usual 6.
I bet they were ready to come home.
I can't even imagine. We've got a whole bunch of news articles about it, though, so we're going to
Yeah.
try to piece together how this even happened.
Sounds interesting.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine just looking out the window at Earth for 9 months straight?
Yeah, it's got to be a long time.
Like, hey, Houston, we have a bit of a problem with our ride home.
Yeah, seriously. So how does a mission even get extended like that?
Right, like what could possibly cause a delay of 3 whole months?
Well, the typical 6-month missions are already pushing it in terms of like what humans can handle.
Yeah, for sure.
So 9 months is like a whole other ball game.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's not just about like running out of food or anything.
No.
Think about the mental side of things.
Yeah.
Being isolated and confined for that long.
Definitely.
Altered sleep cycles, probably sensory deprivation, just being stuck with the same small crew 24/7.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, it's intense.
So what was it then that caused them to be up there for so long? Was it like a technical issue with the spacecraft or something?
Okay, so it wasn't aliens,
Oh, man.
but it is a pretty crazy story.
Okay, I'm all ears.
So their ride home was supposed to be the Soyuz MS-22.
The Soyuz.
Yeah, it's like a Russian spacecraft. Think of it as a space taxi, basically,
Gotcha.
taking crews to and from the ISS.
Makes sense.
But get this, it suffered damage to its external cooling loop.
Oh, no.
Yeah, not good. And without that cooling system, it was way too risky to use for reentry.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So what'd they do? Send up a mechanic?
Haha, not quite.
Oh, that's what I figured.
But they did have to launch a whole new spacecraft just to bring them home.
Wow, seriously?
Yep, the Soyuz MS-23.
That's wild, a whole other Soyuz, just for them to talk about a rescue mission.
It's pretty incredible when you think about it. Like, a ton of international cooperation had to happen to pull that off.
I bet.
You've got to coordinate the launch window, make sure the spacecraft has all the right stuff on board. Every little detail matters when you're launching something into space.
That's so true. Like this one incident shows how much goes into space travel behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
It's not just about the astronauts, it's a whole global effort.
Exactly.
And it makes you wonder what we've learned from all this, especially for longer missions, like to Mars.
Right, because imagine if a similar thing happened on the way to Mars.
Oh, God.
You'd be talking years of delay, not just months.
Yeah, no kidding.
So it really highlights the need for super resilient systems.
What do you mean?
Well, in deep space, there's no quick fix, right? Help isn't a phone call away.
Oh, true.
We've got to have backups,
Right.
ways to diagnose problems, maybe even do repairs in space.
Like a space garage?
Pretty much, haha. But this whole Soyuz situation, it's a wake-up call.
Yeah, it makes you think about the human side of things, too. We get so caught up in the excitement of exploration.
Right.
But these kinds of events, they remind us of the risks.
Exactly.
And it's not just physical risks either.
You're talking about the mental toll.
Exactly. Being away from home for that long, dealing with the unexpected, it's got to be tough.
It raises some big ethical questions, too,
About
whether it's even right to send people on these really long missions.
Yeah.
How do we make sure they're okay mentally and physically when they're so far from everything they know?
That's deep, man.
It is something to think about for sure.
Okay, well, that about wraps up our deep dive for today. Thanks to everyone for joining us.
My pleasure.
It's crazy to think that these astronauts were up there for 9 months.
Yeah, an incredible story.
Makes you realize that space travel is full of surprises, both good and bad.
Definitely.
But as we keep exploring, we learn more, and hopefully we can use that knowledge to make things safer and better for future missions.
That's the goal.
And who knows, maybe what we learn out in space can even help us back here on Earth.
You never know.
Some food for thought, folks. Until next time, keep looking up.
See ya!